Yeah, so I mean, while I was on the playground, you're telling me I should have been doing stem cell research. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's very helpful. No, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I've gone to an art school for the past 6 years. And spoiler alert, it's nothing like Victorious or Step Up or Backstage or High School Musical. Actually, Step Up is like surprisingly pretty accurate. Rory, after she goes to Yale, she's a mess. Hi, my name is Karish, and this is my very first YouTube video. I've actually wanted to start a YouTube channel for a very long time. Like, ever since I was a kid, it's been a dream of mine. And that's not like an exaggeration. I literally dreamed of having a YouTube channel or just being like some type of internet celebrity and thing like that. But uh, obviously that's not true. And that's not really the goal right now either. I don't know, I've wanted to do this for so long that I was like, why not? What I should have told little Karish, though, was to start studying for those SATs. Yeah, yeah. And to actually find the cure to cancer while she was 5 years old. Yeah, because she's far too late now. It's just too late. But yeah, that's what this video is about today. It's about college and how wild and crazy and scary it is for a 17-year-old, especially in today's generation. First, I think I want to talk about how college in this generation is so wild and crazy because we're expected to be exceptional. And that is an exaggeration, like truly exceptional. You scroll on your TikTok, RIP, but you scroll on your TikTok, you see you scroll on TikTok, and first you see a video of like a 7-year-old prodigy. And then on the Ellen show, you see some other kid who can name all the species of dinosaurs. And then you read a book or you look in your local magazine and some high school kid has literally found the cure to cancer. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. These are like real life things. Maybe not word for word, but the ideas of children being exceptional and in general people in general being exceptional makes it very hard to feel like you're like worthy or special yourself, especially going into college applications. I mean, there's so much pressure to have a passion project, and in fact, not even pressure. At this point, in order to get into an Ivy League school, a passion project is something you have to do. You have to do that. Or if you want to go to even like a school that's a little bit higher up, like it's expected that you have a great personal statement or that you've done some crazy thing for your community. And whatever happened to just being like average high school student? It's actually wild. Or even when I talk to my parents about college, they're like, well, you'll get a bunch of scholarships, or, you're such a good student, you have 4.0, all that. I mean, I might have cut it 30 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, but now there's just like this insane pressure to be exceptional, and it's so hard to feel like you're enough. And it almost feels like I don't even know what they want. It genuinely isn't even like a wild exaggeration to feel like you have to have the cure to cancer to get into a good school. And like, that's just the tip of the iceberg of like getting in and feeling special enough to go to these schools and like feeling worthy enough to go. You get in just to find out you can't afford it. Yeah, yeah, that's another thing. Like, truly and honestly, I don't believe anyone can afford to go to college. And I don't use that like lightly. Maybe Elon Musk. No, definitely Elon Musk. He can truly afford anything. It's just wild to think about how expensive it is to go to school and then how much money you can spend on a degree and then not even use it. So many people go to college for things that they don't end up like pursuing at all, and they just pivot, which is fine. That's what life's about. Like, but I also had to get rid of in my mind this big stigma I had against like going to school in state. Personally, I live in Florida, and it's just so wild that I had this like preconceived notion about going to school in state and how that meant you were unsuccessful. I mean, it's not completely crazy that I thought that way. I think that's actually a big stigma that's like prominent about college, and I think that's like what a lot of people say about it. But it's crazy that I felt that way for so long. And by for so long, I think like literally a year or two ago, I realized that like that's not the case, and it's actually a privilege to go to school in state. I used to think, yeah, if I went to school in state, that just was like if you go to school in the state, like, you know. And now that might very well be me, and it kind of feels silly for it not to be me. I mean, I have bright futures in Florida, and I'm sure that like a bunch of other schools have like a wide range of like schools. I mean, states have like a wide range of similar things, but it's not even insane for a Florida kid to go to a Florida school for completely free. I mean, that's a big determination in schools, or at least it should be for me. But I'm still so caught up in like making sure that when I announce my college or when I do my Instagram posts for what college I'm going to, that I'm impressing people, or that when I tell people what school I'm going to, that they can be like, yes, and not like, okay. Not that that really freaking matters, because at the end of the day, it's my life. And that's what's so good and so scary about it. It's like, it's my life, and I have the power to make it what feels like a decision that'll make it so good or so bad, when in reality, like, it's such a minuscule thing in the grand scheme of things. Or I pray that it is. I pray that I like live long enough that it is just like a small part of my life and that doesn't define who I am. But that's what it feels like. It feels like the end all be all, especially for someone like me, where I really struggle to like imagine myself in the future. And I know that sounds really like sad, but it's the truth. I mean, I don't really think about myself in the future, and if I do, it's like 2 years ahead max. Like, it's like pushing it like 5 years ahead. That's like max. I mean, I'm just not that kind of person. I mean, if anything, I think about the past a lot, which isn't good, and I'm trying to be more present. But the future is unbeknownst to me. I don't think about it. I try not to. That's just the way that I am. I think it's probably like a mix of like being afraid of things changing and things like that, and commitment issues. But that's all to say that I've never envisioned what my life would be like, and now it feels like I have the power to decide, and also no power to decide what it'll look like, and that's just so scary. Sometimes I think I'm lucky to be kind of in my second semester of junior year without a dream school, which sounds kind of crazy. I know I should have one, and I'm aiming to like have one really soon, but sometimes I feel like I'm kind of lucky to not have one, because then I won't have to get let down. Oh, it's like I want nothing else than to know exactly where I want to go. I want nothing else to be like Rory, to have freaking Harvard plastered all across my walls. But then I want nothing less than to be like Rory and have Harvard plastered across my walls and then get accepted into Yale, you know? Which is, I mean, like, no, you got into Yale. Like, Rory, after she goes to Yale, she's a mess. Like, truly, had to stop watching the show. It is that bad. I, I don't know. She was a mess. But it's almost like I want to know exactly where I want to go, and to have that clarity and to have that peace of mind that I know what my future like should look like and what I want it to look like. But also, that's so scary to like have your heart set somewhere, with the reality of like it not happening, and that's happening for so many of my senior friends right now. And like, my hearts are like breaking for them, or like jumping for joy with them when they get closer to that, or when they find out that they're like not close to that. It's a crazy process. It comes down to the simple things. I can't even ask myself the simple things, you know. I've looked it up. They'll ask you to make a list, you know. Well, what are some basic things that you want? Do you want to have like live in a big city or a really small city? Do you want to, you know, have a big party school or a more like calm campus? Do you want to do Greek life? Is that important to you? What is it? Is diversity a big thing to you? And some of the questions are easier to answer than others. I don't want to be the only Black person at any school I go to that like check diversity is important to me. I don't want to be sharing like a small room with someone, which is kind of like how college is. But like, ideally, I'd be in like an apartment with like 4 different rooms, and I just share like communal living spaces. But then it gets down to like big city or small city. I've been to like Cashiers, North Carolina, small city, beautiful mountains, lake houses, just gorgeous, like gorgeous. And it was so slow, and I was just like in nature, and it was so peaceful. But I have family in New York. I've been to New York a countless amount of times, and I can't imagine not living in like the hustle and bustle of a city. And so like questions like that, it's just hard. I don't know. I really don't. I really don't. And then, okay, I figure all that out. I decide I want to live in a big city. And I decide that it does matter to me that I get my own apartment, my freshman year of college. And I figure all that out, right? And I get financial aid. What do I major in? Oh my God, what do I major in? And for some people, this question is probably like the easiest one. But for me, I'm in a unique situation where I've gone to an art school for the past 6 years. And spoiler alert, it's nothing like Victorious or Step Up or Backstage or High School Musical. Actually, Step Up is like surprisingly pretty accurate, but that's it. Like, it's not like what you think. And in good ways and bad ways. I mean, I won't complain. It's been a privilege to be like exposed to these things and that like sort of thinking, and it's informed who I am as a person. But at the same time, it's all I've been exposed to. So I just don't know what my other options are. Like, I have no idea what else I'm interested or what else I'm even good at. You are so funneled in and you're so locked in, which I think is good. If you go to an art school, you want to be focused on what your discipline is and you want to be focused on getting better at that. That's a privilege, you know, but at the same time, it's like you're so tunnel vision that I have no idea what else I'm good at or what else I would even do. And it's so daunting, and especially a career in the theater. God, how you want to know how many times I've heard my family member be like, you can go to school for the acting thing, but like, what's your backup plan? Like, I really think that, if that doesn't work out, you can be a nurse. And they're not wrong for telling me that. In fact, I used to be like a little upset with them for doubting me with that. And now I'm starting to see their side more and more every day. The theater is constantly changing and adapting, and like, anyone who works in the arts will tell you, like, it's not a career you go into for the money. It's not something you do because you want to be living lavish. You do it because you love it, and you do it because your soul aches for it. And I mean, I won't make fun of that. I think that's how you should live. You should live doing things that make you happy. But then again, you have to like live. And human beings crave three things. I mean, not three. They crave a wide variety of things. But like fundamentally, most human beings crave like love, like attention in some sort of way, just feeling seen, and security and safety. And that arts degree does not come with that. And it's crazy that there's so much pressure, even still in the BFA track. And if you don't know what BFA stands for, you're free. You're so free. And I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you. But even in the arts track, like, there's still pressure to shoot for the moon, to shoot for UPenn, Juilliard, NYU, UMich. Top schools for a reason. They're good schools. But it's wild that there's so much pressure to like shoot so far and go to these like crazy achieving schools, because I mean, you have to be real and say that that's not necessarily the degree that's going to pay for that tuition. So I don't know. It's like, do I want to be in student loans for the rest of my life and be happy, or live safely and possibly still be happy? And I don't even know anymore if like theater is synonymous with being happy anymore. That's another video. But yeah, man, I could literally talk for hours about how crazy and scary college is. And I hope that I can come back in a couple months, in 7 months, and say that it's a lot better and I have a lot more clarity. And then I hope I can come back in 14 months and a year, no, just a year, come back in a year and be like, it all worked out and I know where I'm going to school and it's great. And I know I will, but the process. Hey, younger Karish, make sure after you watch this video that you go do that SAT prep and you learn those vocab words, and you also find the solution to world peace. Good luck, Karish.